Now we're ready to run the pulse test. We can either run a test or we can actually enter in the proper value. So it's asking us whether we want to run the test. We say yes or no. We're going to go ahead and run the test so we can show the process. And first, let's go ahead and take a look at the help. So step one, we're going to measure the arm length. We're going to select the number of pulses to run for the test. We're going to move the arm that number of pulses, measure again, and then it's going to calculate the distance and the pulse per unit length from that. PPU, pulse per unit length. So, and we're using centimeters for our unit, pulse per unit. So, ready? Yes, let's go. So step one is going to go ahead and reset the motor from where it was left with us doing the setting the limit just then. So we're going to wait just a minute for the motor to reset. So here's the end of the actuator arm. Now what we're just going to do is we're going to measure between some known point like this edge here to the outside edge here, and then we'll move it a certain number of pulses, and then we'll repeat that measurement, and then we'll calculate the difference and the pulse per unit length. So one option is to try to use a standard tape measure, but a little bit better than that is this large caliper gauge that I really like. So I'm going to slide down to this edge here, hold that there, and then measure up against this bushing here. That comes to about 6.2 millimeters. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to enter the value here. 6.22 is our base length. Now, to fall to 300 pulses, we can increment or decrement that. I say let's just go with the 300. So now it's going to run the motor 300 pulses. So now I'm going to come in here again, measure from the same point to the same point. Okay, and that came out to 22.42 centimeters. So 22.42 centimeters. Okay, so the net travel was 16.2 and the effective pulse per unit length 18.51 that it calculated. Okay, so that's the pulse per unit length test. Now if we knew this number 18.51 at the beginning, if we said no to the test, we could have just entered that value directly instead of going through the calibration here like we did. So now we're ready for the A, B, C, and M measurements for the trigonometry section.